What's up, guys? My name is Jeff, aka Pumpkin Spice, for those of you who don't know, and I'm back. I've been taking a break. It's been nice. I've been loving it. But I'm here. I've seen a bunch of new players, so I figured I would do a little tip video. Before I share any of this knowledge with the new players, if you're wondering where I've been at, this is where I've been at. Oh. Bro, why you come up here and crap my style, bro? I'm trying to snipe with. No, I'm fucking with you. You can stay. So, I want to start off with some helpful tips. As far as guns go, I mean, I see a lot of guys taking their time, trying to get their loadout going. You know, they've got like the full kit on, you know, armor, everything. Their gun is tricked out as much as possible, and they have no utility. Whenever it comes to the gun that you're trying to piece together, it depends on the circumstance. If you're not good with full auto, then, you know, it's better to know which of these attachments are going to benefit you most. So if you're a full auto kid that doesn't like to pull down a lot, you're going to want to use a foreign grip and a compensator. You know, some of these attachments don't do as much depending on the gun that you're actually using, but this is like a general rule of thumb. You know, the recoil grip and the compensator are always going to help you out in full auto. The compensator stops horizontal recoil, and the recoil grip stops vertical recoil. Well, actually reduces it. It doesn't stop it, but it makes it a lot more manageable. I usually run a compensator depending on what gun it is. The heavier the caliber, you know, the more erratic it's probably going to spray, or the higher fire rate, the more erratic it's going to spray. So I'll run a compensator on those. Everything else I play around with. You'll see me running an MK18 with the suppressor and a 2x on it, and just single shots, you know, clicking on hits. That's, you know, all that's used for. I'll still run it in full auto because I don't mind the recoil, but you know, it's really just best to figure out what you're comfortable with. That way, whenever you're in match, you don't have to figure out what you need, you know, right then and there, because people are waiting for you, especially if you're playing a vital role like observer. And the next thing I want to share, since we're right here talking about the gun and taking your time building your loadout in, you know, the match, instead of doing that, go to the local player. I think it's local player tutorials. You know, go to the test range. The test range is the perfect place to do this. You know, build a gun, you know, load up on ammo, and then throw some bots out there and shoot them. I mean, this is the best way to practice or figure out what type of gunplay you're gonna like in this game. I've spent many hours in the test range, and it's a valuable tool. So utilize it while it's there. The next tip I can give you is for any game mode. Doesn't matter which one. Doesn't matter which one you're playing. Spam the tab button. This is what I do to bring up the map. The mini map is going to tell you who's alive and who isn't. It's basically the scoreboard. That's what you're looking at whenever you press tab button. That's there by default. That's the default key. And I'm sorry those birds are going crazy, but in the background, if you can hear them, they're going nuts right now. Anyway, you spam the tab key, you can see where all your teammates are at. You know, who's on the point is going to be highlighted by a red dot. If there's nobody on the objective, especially like in a mode like frontline or, you know, push, where everybody's going to be around the objective but maybe not on it, and it's blinking, then, you know, maybe somebody needs to get on there, and that somebody is you. That's the idea. You know, it's really a valuable tool that I don't see anybody utilize. And then, you know, I see these people walking around. They don't understand what's going on. There's no situational awareness, and they're just sitting there looking around while the objective is blinking over here. And then all of a sudden, we lost the round. Say in firefight, last objective is blinking. They're not moving to the next objective to go cap something so everybody can respawn. They're just sitting there standing around looking for kills. That doesn't help anybody. You're going to lose if you keep doing that. So spam that tab button to tell where your teammates are at and what's going on. If nobody's communicating, this is also a good way to understand who's where and who's doing what. I mean, if you see somebody died, well, you know where they're at, more or less. Or if you just check the map and see that somebody's not there. Okay, well, that's where the enemy's pushing from. They're not relaying information, but you can relay the information that they're not relaying to the rest of your team. So that's a real important one right there. If there is no communication, that mini-map will show you everything. Next up is get on the point. Get on the point. It is very important. If the point is blinking, and again, this is where that tab button comes into play, and nobody's on it, then you need to get on it. I can't tell you how many new players I came across that just didn't understand this aspect of the game. Like, you're not just supposed to sit there and shoot at somebody. You actually got to capture things to win. Nobody really cares about your KD. Kills don't matter. I would much rather see somebody, all the way up at the top of the scoreboard, which is usually what you see. Somebody who has died a couple of times, but, has the majority of the caps. They've been on objective more than anybody else. That's why they're at the top of the scoreboard. That's what's most important. That's what that scoreboard is there to indicate. What is the main goal in this game? Getting on the objective and taking points is extremely, it's the center point of the game. It's the whole reason why you have guns and are shooting at each other. Without that, there's nothing. It's just running around playing COD. I mean, if you want to do that, you could go play team deathmatch, I guess. Now, the next helpful tip I can give you is if you're not sure where you're getting shot from, especially in something like push or frontline, where the map is a lot more wide open, people aren't playing specific positions over and over again. It's much more dynamic. I like firefight. I like firefight because it has a more competitive atmosphere. There's less chaos. It's more organized. You can get a strat together and run with it, even if it's just 2 or 3 playing together. But with push, you can't really do that. You can get a strat together, and if your team, kind of like goes along with it, you'll do good. But it's more of organized chaos, I guess, more or less. So if you're getting shot and you don't know where you're getting shot from, a good thing to do is to go into your stats, and then you'll see the tab on the far right that says history, and that's replays. They moved the replay system, and this is extremely helpful. Somebody has a really cheeky spot and I don't know how to do it, or where they're at, or what angle I'm being shot from, especially in push, more or less, is where I have this problem, especially with the newer players too. So I'll go back and look at replays specifically for that. But this is a good resource to take and utilize. The second last tip I'm going to give you is smoke. Especially in the more chaotic game modes, smokes are very important. This is going to be very direct tip right here. If you want to smoke something, if you want to smoke to your advantage, shoot it in between you and whoever's shooting at you. Don't shoot it on where you're intending on going. Don't shoot it right in front of you, because then you can't see what's on the other side. You don't want to block your vision from where you're going. What you want to do is you want to block the enemy's vision from catching you on the way to where you're going. So if you're going to smoke a point, smoke behind it. You don't want the incoming team members, the enemy team members, to see you getting on the point. You don't want them to see what your team's doing, and you should just be shooting the people that are already on the point or in your direct line of sight. That's a really important tip that nobody seems to grasp. They just throw the smoke on the site, and that's it. Don't hesitate to ask somebody that's seems friendly, for help, or ask them what they're doing. You know, why do you do this? You know, I was talking to a bunch of new players yesterday, and they, you know, I looked at them. I said, if we want to win this, because I was the only high level, all my friends were on the other team. They were stacked up against us, and it was just me and a bunch of new guys. I said, if we want to win this, you got to take your backpacks off, because I can't be the only person getting on point, and then have to, you know, take on everybody else at the same time. You know, we all need to be pushing on point as soon as possible. And a bunch of guys just went ahead and they started taking their stuff off, and that, you know, it's things like that are gonna like make you better. You know, I asked questions starting out, you know, and I kind of gotten uh, playing with, you know, people that were a little bit more competitive than me, and you know, they taught me some of the right things, and the other things I kind of learned on my own. Um, but that's gonna be, you know, the best way to learn how to play the game better, more or less. You know, everybody knows how to point and click, but to be better at the game, you know, that's probably the best tip I can give you is to talk to higher levels, figure out what they're doing if you want to, and stick with it. Um, it's not always going to be fair. It's not always going to be nice. It's not always going to be fun. But if you enjoy it and you enjoy that, you know, drive to get better, and that's probably the biggest tip I can give you. Um, you know, as for right now, that's all I got. uh, Thanks for watching. If you stuck out to the whole video, I know I kind of like went off the rails a little bit there, for this being like kind of like a fireside chat with pumpkin spice. You know, also I'm gonna put a link in down below if you like politics and you're open-minded. I just started another YouTube channel. I like political theory. I don't take this stuff to heart. You know, I have a bunch of friends from all different backgrounds. I have my own ideals, my own mindset. But if you know that's your thing too, and or if you just want to learn more about political theory, you know, check out The Odd Man Out. I'll put that link down below. But anyway, if you enjoyed it, hit like, subscribe. I'd appreciate it. If you want to check out the other stuff, go check me out there. I'll see you guys next time. Peace.
Who the fuck is shooting at?